Grandiose buffoonery on the most epic of scales. For sure. Sorry about that. What's up, everybody? Eric here, Tabletop Haven, coming at you with another After One-ish Plays. Now, this one, I talked about in my unboxing that I was hoping to get it to the table quick. And I did. I got it to the table last night with 3 players, okay? So here we go. This is After One-ish Plays with 3 players. Let's talk a little about the group that this is played with. It's a standard weekly group I play with. And one of the people who plays is a little bit AP prone, a little thinky. It takes a little bit of time. So let's look at it with that in mind. I myself can get a little bit AP prone, not gonna lie. But, alright, Crown of Emara. Crown of Emara is a game that I decided to take a look at after multiple different places I saw it mentioned and popped up, and hey, this game doesn't get a lot of love, but it's real solid. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a whirl. It seems like something I would like. You got 2 centralized boards that consist of, you could say modular, I guess, but realistically, it's just the way that they're set up. It's going to be the same 4 boards every time. Or the same 8 boards. You have a resource board and then a city board. Technically, there's a variant where you can mix and match them if you want and kind of play that way. I think it'd be kind of interesting. But, so you're always going to have the same 8 boards. It's just a matter of where they're placed. So this one could be here, this one could be here, and then there's other ones. And so that's essentially how it works. And then you have 2 of your counselors going around these boards and taking the actions at that space. Okay, so this is how the game works. Everyone has the same set of 9 cards to start the game. When you're first playing, they say shuffle and draw 3. Shuffle and draw 3. Alright, that's pretty easy. And essentially that means those are going to be the 3 card actions that you have for that particular turn. Now, you're going to play, let's just say, this guy here. So this is going to give you a wood resource. Now you're going to play that in any one of your 3 slots. But depending on where you place it, you're going to get the wood, and then you're going to move one of your counselors on either side of on either board 2 spaces in a clockwise direction. They can't go more, they can't go less. They have to go exactly that many number. And then you're going to take the action that's on that space. So that's essentially how the game works. You're going to do that 3 times, boop, 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 with the 3 cards in your hand. Those 3 cards are going to get discarded. You're going to draw 3 new cards. You start a new round. First player passes. You're going to do that. You're going to go through the deck 2 times, so it essentially breaks it down to 6 rounds. 6 rounds of play. So, how this game works is it's a point-based system, but you have 2 different types of points that you're going to be earning. You have buildings, and then you have citizens. So essentially, the idea behind the game is there's a king who's getting later in his life, and he wants to find someone that he can trust to take over. And so you're all competing for his favor, trying to win over citizens to your side, but also have enough housing for them. So you need buildings, and then you need citizens. And you're going to acquire them both over the course of the game. But how the scoring works is your end score is the lowest of both of those tracks. So let's say you have 50 houses that you've built for people, and you have 70 people that trust in you or believe in you. Your score is 50 because 20 of those people have nowhere to live, and so it doesn't matter. Vice versa, if you have 70 buildings and you only have 50 people, you did not maximize your resources well, and you just have unfilled homes, so only 50 people really matter. So that is how the scoring works, and that's pretty cool. I like that system quite a bit. It makes for some interesting play. Alright, at the beginning of each round, you're going to draw an event card. They're generally just good things that happen. Here you go. Boom. Have some textiles. Or it might just give you a random resource. Or this round, if you take the cathedral action, which is one of the actions on the city board, you get bonus 3 followers. That's what this little symbol is here, 3 followers. And just things like that. Sometimes it's end of the round, like here at the end of the round, you can trade in either a book or a signet ring for 5 buildings to increase in your track. So there's just a little something at the beginning of the round that everyone can take advantage of if they so choose, but it is available to everyone. And yeah, that's how the game plays out. You just go around and everyone's taking turns. You're not blocked by other opponents' counselors, so you can share spaces with other people. There are ways to build up. If you look here, you have little craftsmen that you can hire, and you can put them on the different buildings in the different areas, and they will give you access to more resources, or a different kind of resource. You can get bread. They'll allow you to turn your wheat into bread, which is you can turn in for more citizens. You're feeding the people, so they like that. And then another aspect of the game is these, I think they're called, I don't know if they're counselor, advisors, I think they are. So they have a certain cost associated with them, and then they are going to go on the random spots in the city. So here's one of the city spaces, it's the cathedral. And so if you have a counselor here, you can hire these advisors for this cost at the top. They're generally going to instantly give you some followers, and then they might give you this infinity symbol, which means at any point in the game, you can, I don't know this particular one, but something to do with books. It's a bad example. But anyway, this one here is if you can pay 3 textiles to get 5 buildings and -1 to your population. This guy is the landlord. So they just give you little things, 3 people right away, and then once per turn, when there's 1x is once per turn, there's 6 turns over the course of the game, you have access to that. Or there are ones that are just one-time use, where, boom, here you go. You just get 12 followers but he costs a lot more. So things like that, but your counselor has to be on that particular space to hire those particular advisors, so there's kind of a positioning issue where you're trying to maximize where you want your people, what you want them to do, what actions you want them to take. And that's essentially the game, is you're going around for 6 rounds. The components are very good. They got nice solid wooden resource chunks. They have the solid wooden they're not just standard meeples, they got little character to them, like your counselors are big and chunky, and so easy to move around. The cardboard in the game is thick and of good quality. The cards are fine. Yeah, so after one play, my thought is it can get a little bit thinky, but I don't mind that. I don't mind having a little think in my game, having a little like, oh, okay, oh, yes, if I go there, oh, but then if I use this, if I use a double action here, then I could score, in the next turn I could do that. So I like that. I like that kind of puzzle. I like a puzzly game where you can kind of mix and match. I think ultimately the final scoring of the game last night was like 72 to 69 to 64 or something like that. So it wasn't a huge spread, and there were some very different tactics used. Like for me, I didn't get bread a single time during the game. I didn't upgrade wheat to bread at all. Whereas someone else, I think, maximized the bread location multiple times, and so we still came out and just had a ton of advisors. And so like there's different ways to play the game. There's different buttons you can push in it, and I think that's where it's going to be a fun situation. Like I said, you can theoretically mix and match the boards if you get kind of not bored, but if you get kind of want that more, even more thinky. That could get a little, if you have AP prone people, maybe avoid that situation. But yeah, overall, I think it's very good. I think I'm probably at like a 7.5 or an 8 after one play. I don't think, just because of the nature of the game, I'm not sure how samey it would get if you played it a lot. But definitely, let's be real. I don't have the biggest collection. I probably have around 200-ish games, which, depending on the person watching this, like, oh, that's a lot, or I don't know what that is. But if I played every game in my collection once a day, that's going to give me 1 play of every game and 2 plays of some games every year. So, that being said, getting this to the table a few times a year is going to give you an experience that I think is great, and it's fun, and it's thinky. If you want that thinky, puzzly game for an evening, cool. I think also if you play it more, this is obviously with the teach and learning and things like that, and a very AP-prone player. If you had people who were quicker at taking turns or know the game real well, I think you could easily get it in, I think it's 75 minutes on the box. I think probably 60 to 90 minutes is probably good. Maybe if you had like 2 players and you were bouncing back and forth like real quick who knew the game, yeah, that 45 minutes you might be able to hit that, or that might be a solo 45 minutes. But anyway, Crown of Emara is very good. I also had a big problem with organizing, making quick decisions on something. My wife hates this. So she'll make a meal, and I'll take a bite. She'll be like, how is it? You gotta give me time. You gotta let me process it. And so she gets very frustrated because I have to pretty much eat the whole meal, and then I'll kind of give like, okay, all right, here's where I'm at on it. I'm kind of that way with games. There's games I've played 7, 8 times where I feel like, okay, I'm just getting into this game. I need more time with it to really fully feel how I feel about this game. And I think that's slightly I don't know if that's problematic, but that's an issue with me that I have. But I also like to play my games more than 1 or 2 times before I can really get a feel for them. Because I think sometimes with 1 or 2 plays, you can get a very vastly different experiences, and then that puts out, your review could be based on faulty rule set, could be, you misplayed some things, you had a weird player count. So trying my best to get as much information before I give a full review. But I think that's why these after one-ish plays are good for me, because, especially this one, after 1 play, how did I feel about it after 1 play? I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked the puzzle. I liked the way it could go. I can see where it's going. I can see what it's trying to do. I think it's interesting. I think it's fun. So that's good. After a play, that's great. Now, I have some after one-ish plays videos that I've played the game 6 or 7 times, and I'm calling it after one-ish plays because I don't feel like I truly have a good grasp of the game. This one, I think I understand what the game is doing. I get what it's putting down, and I like what it's putting down. And so, Crown of Emara, we're gonna put it at a 7.5 right now. Crown of Emara for me is a 7.5 after 1 play. I appreciate you watching. I'm going to give you 15 points because that's 7.5 times 2 and funsies. So if you want those points, you can comment down below, subscribe, whatever, all that stuff. But I love you. Thanks for watching. Keep on gaming. Have fun out there. Bye.